So, as we have been talking throughout this course about how examination timings can be very stressful, very challenging, and anxiety provoking, in this lesson today, I want to focus on time management techniques. In a bid to avoid last minute stress and anxiety, it is very important that we learn to manage time well in advance. So, in this course, I'm going to talk about a few time management techniques that, if you implement on time before your examinations, the anxiety should not be as much, but these techniques we perfect with practice. So, the first technique is called the Pomodoro technique. What you have to do in here is break down your study period into chunks of 25 minutes each. So you choose a task. Let's say I choose to study chapter 4 of physics today. So my task is set. Now I set a timer for 25 minutes. I sit down, I start with chapter 4, and the minute the 25-minute alarm goes off, you take a break, you shut the book. Now this break can last for 5 to 10 minutes. Not longer than that. I do not appreciate it because it's harder to come back to it and we start procrastinating. So take a 5 to 10 minute break after your 25-minute chunk of studying is over, and then get back to padhai. After every 4 pomodoros, which means after every 4 chunks of having read for or having studied for 25 minutes, you take a longer break. You take a 30-minute break or you take a 40-minute break. Essentially, the idea of the Pomodoro technique is to help you stay focused and get more work done. If you sit and study for very, very long periods of time, it can quickly become boring. It can also become overwhelming and your concentration starts reducing. Chunking study time into smaller parts, it helps you stay motivated, and also taking breaks at the right time is a very, very important time management technique. So the next time management technique is called the Eisenhower time management matrix. Now, as you can see on the screen, you need to take out a piece of paper and divide it into 4 quadrants. This will help us prioritize our tasks better. So the first quadrant is the urgent and important quadrant. Anything you put in here is what needs to be done right now. So any submissions coming up within the week, your exam in the following week, and you have to prepare for that. So everything falls here. The second quadrant is less urgent but still important. So you schedule it in this quadrant. Let's say you have a project work which needs to be submitted in the following month. So you have about 25 to 30 days to do it. It is important because it will be graded or marked, but it's less urgent. So it comes into this quadrant. The third quadrant is for the less important but still urgent tasks. So let's say you have to get a few photocopies made and you have borrowed your notes from a friend. Now you personally do not need to invest the time and energy to go and get it done. Perhaps you can delegate it to a family member or a friend or any help who can go get it done for you. The last one is the delete quadrant. Anything that is not important, not urgent, you can delete it for the time being. Let's say our social media distractions. So let's say today is Monday and you have your exam on Wednesday, so you really need to study. All social media related distractions or online shopping or let's say going out with friends can be deleted for now. So essentially what the Eisenhower matrix is helping us do is compare our choices on the scale of urgency and importance, which helps you make a very solid plan to approach your never-ending to-do list during times of examinations and submissions. This is also a very, very good way of determining your priorities throughout the academic year or through the semesters to avoid any last-minute stress and anxiety. So the next important thing to do under time management is to break big tasks into smaller, more actionable tasks. Now what happens is, if you have a big project coming up, let's say you have your science project coming up, there's so much to do. You have to finalize a topic, you have to research, you have to do your literature review, you have to get the approval, you have to present it in an interesting manner, you have to put in all the finishing details, you need to sort feedback. So it seems so overwhelming. However, if you can break it down into steps, I'll just finalize the topic within the next 4 days, and then I see where I need to start researching. So the idea behind this technique is to just build momentum that helps you take the first step. It does not seem so out of control that you start procrastinating, thinking कि ये तो हो ही नहीं पाएगा. So it's always a good idea to break down the big things into smaller chunks. Okay. So the next technique is called time blocking. What time blocking means is to divide your day into blocks of time. So to know in advance what you will be doing for let's say from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Then knowing what you will be doing from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Then you know 2 to 3 p.m. is lunchtime. So essentially it is the opposite of an open-ended to-do list. It is a very scheduled to-do list. Now this has two benefits. One, you don't have to constantly make choices about what to focus on during the day. It's already done for you the previous night or the previous week and done by you. So all you need to do is follow your time blocked schedule. Two, if you get off track or distracted, you just need to check into your schedule. Okay, what had I scheduled for 5 p.m. today? And you start with that task. Usually what happens is we waste a lot of time on the same day in planning what needs to be done, which chapter we need to study, and by the time, because honestly there's a lot to do, and by the time we finally find what chapter or which topic we are going to do, a lot of our energy is drained. So essentially knowing and planning in advance through time blocking is a great way to schedule your days, and it also helps you understand where you're losing most time. So what are the distractions that you're facing? It is a great idea to look at what is in the first quadrant of your Eisenhower matrix, the urgent and important one, and start scheduling it in your following days. Now I want to warn you all about one thing. Anytime we sit to plan and schedule, we tend to be very unrealistic. It also has a name, which is planning fallacy, which essentially states that we tend to over plan or over expect how much we can do in a day, and then it feels very discouraging when we fail to do it. So please always keep some buffer time in your schedule. Let's say you are going to revise a chapter. So for that you can perhaps, let's say it's an easy chapter, so you can keep 40 minutes to revise it or 30 minutes to revise it. So 1 to 1.5x buffer time is enough. However, if you're doing a completely new project or a completely new, unfamiliar, difficult topic, keep more buffer time. Keep 2x buffer time, keep 2.5x buffer time. So that way you also know that my planning is realistic, which is very important in time blocking. And lastly, and my personal favorite, is to tick off the completed tasks. So a motivation to do more comes from successfully completing and accomplishing previous tasks. It also helps you monitor your progress. So please tick off the completed tasks of your to-do lists, and don't forget to indulge in self-care and celebration. Thank you.